I think what I would like to see all of you is to actually be dreamers and actually go about delivering on it. You know, there is a book called Secret. How many of you have actually read that book? You read it? Very nice. Oh, this is really good. All of you should read that book. And that book talks about the fact that if you think something, think about it, dream it, live it, you will attract that kind of people around you. You'll end up attracting that kind of people. You know, who's typically around rowdy shitters? Rowdies. It's not by coincidence, it actually happens. And when you think positive and think about the state, you surround yourself with the right leadership. So if I would ask, one thing that youth of Andhra Pradesh should look at is actually, think big, live it, dream it, and definitely you can deliver it. It could be anything. It could be business, it could be personal, but you have to believe in it. When you believe in it, it will happen. There is a subconscious power that attracts like-minded people. And I think that's one thing that I would ask the youth to actually do every day. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shravani.
Can you put the mic closer?
I'm Shravani. And I'm from Machine Learning Department. Today, machine learning is the main thing of all the world, and it is ruling the world. So, we are completing our M.tech in 2020. So after that, we go to Bangalore or Chennai for jobs because there is no availability and the type of technology jobs is not available here. So which type of assurance you can give for us?
That kind of jobs are not available yet. I'll change that. What we've done, you're absolutely right. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is the next wave. And I also believe that every industrial revolution only adds more jobs than it removes. But then it removes the lower order jobs. So we need to skill up. So as IT minister, we have foreseen this. And we actually are the only state to have an AI and cloud hub policy, artificial intelligence and cloud hub policy, wherein we attract companies to deploy large-scale data centers. Now, the success of machine learning is data. We are creating world-class data centers. So we signed with Adani Group, which is investing 70,000 crores into Visakhapatnam to build 5 gigawatt data center. So data centers, I'm not too sure whether you know, it's measured on the amount of energy they consume. Current India's capacity is 250 megawatts. This is 5 gigawatts. So we believe that this will really kickstart the entire ecosystem around artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I guarantee you that by the time you graduate, which is exactly a year away, that this will be up and running and there will be new order jobs in Visakhapatnam in this particular area. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I am Tiruptamma from BVIT. I would like to ask you that what are the qualities which inspires you more from Chandrababu Naidu garu and NTR garu?
So, I was born after NTR became the chief minister. I was born exactly 2 months after he sworn in 82. So someone told me this, because I was not there, but I hear this. So someone asked him, are you a capitalist or a socialist? He said, I'm a human. So he said, I don't believe in left, I don't believe in right. I believe that we are all humans. And humanism is the new ism. So I think that's something that I think, personally for me, I have learned from him. From our chief minister, hard work. It's just that there's no shortcut to success. There's literally no shortcut to success. If there's anyone telling you it, he's just fooling you. And believe me, after 12 months, you'll be wondering, why did you do it? There is no shortcut to success. Any stream, any area, it could be the private sector, it could be government, it could be politics. So one thing that I've learned from the Chief Minister is actually to be extremely hardworking, to be very persistent. You know, it is amazing how persistent it gets. So he'll give you a task. So he'll say, okay, in rural development, you have to do this in the review meeting. And exactly 24 hours later, you'll get a call from CM office saying, what happened? Where is the file? You know, can you believe that Andhra government is the only government where all the files actually go digitally? There's no paper file. Zero. And I as a minister, well, now I don't get any files thanks to elections, but when I was, pre-code, I was clearing files on average at 4 hours a day. Within 4 hours. But I was the third fastest minister. So the municipal administration minister clears his files in 37 minutes. So that's how fast things are actually moving. And the chief minister actually ensures it's done. So in the cabinet meeting, he actually opens all the ministers' files performance. And then he tells who are all the bottoms. He actually tells. So, you know, one thing that I think we all can learn from him is being hardworking, patient, and being persistent. Because I believe that persistence always pays. You have to be persistent. See, failures are part of life. You will fail. I mean, there's no second thought. Out of 10 things you do in life, 3 to 4 things you will fail. That is the beauty of life. But then you shouldn't get disheartened by it. You shouldn't get, ayo, avulede, enduku. You should not be there. You should be like, okay, I failed. Why did I fail? Where were the mistakes? How am I going to correct and how am I going to deliver? So I think this requires a completely new level of persistence. And that's something that I think, as youngsters, we really need to imbibe. Thank you.
Hi, sir. This is Rahul.
Rahul, you seem to be quite popular here. You got the mic, everyone's like...
I am not popular, sir. My name is popular. I would like to ask you a question related to the topic traffic. As I am a
Traffic, yeah.
As I am a student, I will daily travel to my college on my bike. In the recent years, I have observed that traffic is becoming a main problem. Before years, government have used signals, but recent years they are using traffic police for signaling and controlling the traffic. I would like to use technology in the traffic, and you can control the traffic and very more useful, and you can you can decrease the manual work, and that's my suggestion. I would like to know how you can solve the suggestion by using technology. We are using technology in various situations and various problems, but why we can solve traffic problem? Thank you, sir.
I think that's a very, very important topic that you've raised. Because as Amravati is taking shape, huge traffic, everyone is trying to get, then evening everyone tries to move out. And clearly our roads are not built for it. If you look at all our Karkat roads, they're clearly not built for a city like Amravati that's coming up. So with this, one, of course, we need to modernize our infrastructure, and we will do that. But then there was a project that actually started with Google, but then because of elections, we couldn't take it forward. But post-elections, we wanted to. So Google can actually tell you where the bottlenecks are. They can actually tell you where the bottlenecks happen. So they have the data. So I want to work with them and actually understand where is that gap. And then once I know there is a bottleneck, it could be that our 4-lane is becoming 2-lane, or it's because of their potholes, or there is some commercial establishment, a very popular commercial establishment that is creating that bottleneck. So this is where I think we can become more proactive as a government in solving it. 2, if you've noticed, government is putting up quite a few cameras. I'm not too sure whether you've seen. A lot of cameras are coming up. I think we, in first phase, we're installing, if I'm right, about 45 or 50,000 cameras across the state. And these are all in the major traffic spots. And then we want to use image processing to pull up. As you rightly said, we see lot more traffic policemen, which is actually not required. What we need is smart policing and adaptive street lights. Street lights can be adaptive. Your stop lights can be adaptive. So you need more of adaptive technology that needs to come in. And we're now using, again, machine learning. I'm searching here, machine learning to actually do this. So once you do image processing, you use machine learning to deliver on these algorithms. So we just started on that. The police department tends to be a more tougher department to reform, but I'm sure we can actually do it and deliver. We are actually sitting right opposite to the Andhra Pradesh police headquarters. We're a little right opposite. So they have a separate building. I don't know whether you've seen it on the left. It's called the Tech Tower. It's amazing the kind of technology they have. So we are now actually, CM has been pushing hard for even police to use latest technology. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. This is Steve from the Naikula College. Yeah, I was raised in Mangalagiri since 19 years. From my childhood, I've seen Mangalagiri, but now Mangalagiri is far changed from my childhood. And what in Mangalagiri attracted you to install these IT hubs and stuff? And what are the development we're going to face as citizens of Mangalagiri?
So actually, just to add to your question, someone asked me why Mangalagiri. I think that's a very interesting question. So, for me personally, I need to travel across the state. So I thought having a constituency relatively closer can enable me nurture the constituency better. So when I looked around, and Mangalagiri is the only assembly constituency the Telugu Desam party did not win after 85. So TDP won in 83 and 85. And since 89, because of coalition or whatever, we kept losing Mangalagiri. And we lost Mangalagiri because of 12 votes, 1-2. So for all of you who have a vote here and are thinking not to vote, please don't do that. It's very, very important. I think Mangalagiri is a great example. Can you believe that we lost this seat by 12 votes, 1-12? Imagine if I changed 7 votes, we would have won the damn seat. How many families do I need to convince? 2. 2 families. So every vote is important. I keep getting asked this question, how is my vote important? You will anyway win. I keep telling them, if everyone thinks like that, I will lose. Everyone should come out. And all of you here, irrespective to where you are, irrespective to who you vote, you should exercise your franchise. That is the best way to express yourselves. And you should take pride in it. And once you vote, take a selfie, put it on Facebook. Tweet about it. And if your friends don't vote, name and shame them. Name and shame them. That's very, very important. And coming to your question about Mangalagiri and why IT and why Mangalagiri. See, Mangalagiri is a very interesting, from a geographic location. It's completely, it's very long as a constituency. It has 2 municipalities. So if you have to get into Amravati, you need to literally go through Mangalagiri. And Mangalagiri has the advantage of highway. So that's where when we actually looked at the first IT zone in Amravati, when land pooling was still happening, we found that Mangalagiri was perfect. So we had about 100 or 120 acres, which is quite less. But we started there. And that's where Mangalagiri got transformed. Coming to what I would do to Mangalagiri, I think that's a very, very good question. There has been a lot of burning issues. Mangalagiri municipality has been a very old town. You see the roads are quite cramped. So we need to really modernize. Now modernize, I don't mean break everything. Not possible, it won't happen. But you can modernize infrastructure. You can modernize drainage, you can modernize drinking water. Solid waste management is a great area. So we need to do all that. And we need to create strong local ecosystems. Handlooms is very big in Mangalagiri. So in handlooms, I believe that we need to create a brand. See, brands are very powerful. If you look at why does Apple charge a premium on their products, it's branding. It's unbelievable. Xiaomi, Mi is now getting into pens, refrigerators, TVs. It's all about branding and pricing. So similarly, I'll give you an example about branding. How many of you have heard of Araku coffee? Oh, good. So we are doing something right. So Araku coffee is grown by tribals in Araku. It is not like our filter coffee. You and I mean, I love filter coffee, so I don't like Araku coffee. It's a very different taste. It sells in Europe. It is one of the most expensive coffees in India. Sorry, on the globe. One of the most expensive coffees on the globe. And it gets sold. The reasons are two things. One, of course, the coffee is fantastic. The second is branding. And we actually have stores in Europe selling only Araku coffee. Now think about the same thing if you do for handlooms. So coming back to the same point, why should I make things that I think is right? Now let me flip it on its head. How can I get the private sector to guide us? If you look at Future Group as amazing retail or Reliance as retail, now we should work with them and say, boss, what do you need? What is selling? Table mats, or what kind of apparel is selling, what kind of dresses are selling, what kind of shirts. Based on that, we actually have to produce and then brand it. Only then can we deliver a premium. That's something I really want to do to Mangalagiri handlooms. I want to use the private sector to give us inputs on what to actually make with a clear buyback and actually create Mangalagiri handlooms as a brand and actually market it across the entire the world. And that way I believe that you can create a strong local ecosystem for Mangalagiri. Yeah, this is a question that I'm really thinking about it. I mean, there's no right on. I mean, it's not difficult to get a textile park, but I think I'm at that crossroads. Is that does a textile park help weavers? There's this interesting discussion that keeps happening because textile park ends up being a very modern textile park. Right, weavers they don't have the opportunity to really modernize at that level. It doesn't make sense. So I'm at that cross junction. I think we need a textile park with a twist, where actual weavers get an opportunity there. So there's something that I'm thinking. I'm discussing it with my team members. And we're debating about it. But I hope soon maybe by 25th, 26th, I'll be able to give out a Mangalagiri manifesto in that sense, that what I want to deliver in the next 5 years. Well, coming to that point, the Chief Minister believes that every constituency should have its own manifesto. Because every constituency needs a very unique. So what works in Mangalagiri will not work in Kuppam or in Bhimli. Or what works in Vishaka East will not work in Bhimli. They're very different. So we need to understand the local requirement and cater to the locals much, much better. So we intend to do that. So I got a cue that we are running out of time, so any last questions, I'll be more than happy to take it. Go ahead, I'll just finish that and come. Where is the mic? I can't hear you, just 1 second. Can I get the mic? And I need some...
Sir, good evening. Myself, Dr. Shivaprasad. I am from KL Business School. Sir, I have a small doubt. It is actually raising because of last 5 years, here there is a lots of development is going on. We are supposed to accept it. But, so one become a green field converted as a concrete jungle. But how you are balancing this food system?
No, I think, see, urbanization will happen. I also believe that if we can create a strong rural economy, if we create strong rural economy, then villages will thrive. Saying that Amravati will transform, there's no second thoughts about it. And yes, you will see a lot of buildings. But I think it's all about how do you manage this growth. It's about how do you make sure that enough of green zones are there, enough of water zones are there. How do you ensure all the canals are maintained and not destroyed? How many of you knew that Singapore has 50% green cover? 50. How many of you knew this? You knew it. Because I was shocked. Because I got to know it in December. 50% green cover. Yes, Singapore has amazing trees and all that. We see pictures. But they consciously work on it. And do you know the coverage of green cover in Andhra? 28%. 28% is our green cover. While we think our green cover is high, it is actually not the case. We have ignored our entire ecosystem. So now as a state, we are actually now focused on increasing green cover. So a school is a great example, right? If you take a Mandal Parishad school, they have 20 acres. In one corner will be the buildings. The rest of it is dry land. No one bothers about it. So we're now using a technology called Miyawaki. It's actually a Japanese process of plantation. It's about soil preparation, where you can grow urban forests. So what would take 100 years, you can actually do in 10 years. So it's all about soil preparation. So that's where we need to balance the system. And as a state, we're focused on green cover. You know, we are the only state to actually have a goal to get to 50% green cover. No state has that goal. And we're actually on that direction. So we're very focused about it. And we'll continue to be focused on it. But I also believe urbanization will happen, no second thoughts. But while urbanization is happening, we need to balance it. So I was asked this question. You know, we've laid 24,000 kilometers of cement roads in Andhra. 24,000. So you rarely come across that level of dust as we did in the past. But then it has its negative, you know. For people who are used to dusty roads, once you come to cement roads, you have knee pains. But that's the challenge of development. I can't leave the cement roads, the kacha roads as it is. I think, you know, we need to move on. And then with this, it will create a whole new ecosystem in itself. Thank you. Okay, we'll take one last question, I guess, in the front. Okay, we have nothing even, and then we'll come. Enkalamma. We'll come back to you. Last question.
Sir, myself, I am Rajshekhar. I'm from Dhanekula Engineering College. Sir, ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగా వచ్చే ఎంటర్‌ప్రెన్యూర్స్‌కి మీ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎలా సపోర్ట్ చేయాలనుకుంటుంది సార్? ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ నేను ఏమైనా చేయాలనుకుంటే నాకు బ్యాక్‌గ్రౌండ్ ఉంది సార్. బ్యాక్‌గ్రౌండ్ ఉండి చేయాలనుకుంటే అది వేరేలాగా ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఏమీ లేనోడు చేయాలి అని వాడికి తపన ఉంటుంది. కానీ వాడికి ఏమీ సపోర్టింగ్ ఏమి ఉండదు, డబ్బు ఉండదు, ఏమి ఉండదు. కానీ దే హ్యావ్ ఎన్ ఐడియా. వారికి మీ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎలాంటి భరోసా ఇస్తుంది సార్?
ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఆంటర్‌ప్రెన్యూర్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అవ్వాలంటే వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సింది మెంటరింగ్ అండ్ గైడెన్స్. డబ్బులున్నాయి మార్కెట్లో, యాక్చువల్గా డబ్బులున్నాయి. ఒక మంచి ఐడియా కమర్షియలైజ్ చేసేదానికి డబ్బులున్నాయి మార్కెట్లో, ఇబ్బంది ఏం లేదు. కానీ ఇక్కడ మన దగ్గర ఏం లేదంటే ఎకో సిస్టమ్ లేదు. ఆ నర్చరింగ్ ఎకో సిస్టమ్ అవసరం. దానికోసం మేము వీ క్రియేటెడ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ సొసైటీ. ఈ సొసైటీ ద్వారా మీ ప్రపోజల్స్ అండ్ దెన్ కోహోర్ట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాం. సో ప్రతి ఐ థింక్ 2 నెలలు 3 నెలలకు ఒకసారి ఒక కోహోర్ట్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. ఆ 3 నెలలు మీ ప్రపోజల్స్ పాస్ అయిందనుకోండి స్క్రీనింగ్ కమిటీ నుంచి, దెన్ ఫుల్ టైం మీకు నర్చర్ చేసాక మనుషులు పెడతాం. సో మీకు ఎక్స్పోజర్ విజిట్స్, మీ టెక్నాలజీని, ఒక ఐడియాని ప్రోటోటైపింగ్ ఎలా చేయాలి, ప్రోటోటైపింగ్ తర్వాత కమర్షియలైజ్ ఎట్ చేయాలి, ఈ స్టెప్ ప్రాసెస్ మేము చేస్తున్నాం. అండ్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ సొసైటీ ద్వారా చేస్తున్నాం. ఇక్కడ మీరు ఒకటి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే, అందరూ ఏమనుకుంటారంటే స్టార్టప్ అంటే టెక్నాలజీ అనుకుంటారు. అది కాదండి. స్టార్టప్స్ డోంట్ మీన్ టెక్నాలజీ. అమెరికాలో కూడా కేవలం టెక్నాలజీ స్టార్టప్సే కాదు, నాన్ టెక్ స్టార్టప్స్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి. బల్క్ ఆఫ్ జాబ్స్, బల్క్ ఆఫ్ ఎకానమీ దాని నుంచి వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు మేము ఒక కంపెనీని నర్చర్ చేసాం, అమరావతిలో వాళ్ళు ఉండేది. బనానా మన బనానా హార్వెస్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఫైబర్ మిగులుతుంది. ఆ ఫైబర్ నుంచి టూత్ బ్రషెస్ తయారు చేశారు, షేవింగ్ బ్రషెస్, డిస్పోజబుల్ షేవింగ్ బ్రషెస్. అండ్ వాళ్ళ విండో తగ్గించేశారు. మళ్ళీ ఆ స్టార్టప్ మన దగ్గరనే ఇంక్యుబేట్ అయింది. సో ఇలా చాలా స్టార్టప్స్ వస్తున్నాయి. బట్ అగైన్ సమ్ ఆర్ టెక్, కొన్ని నాన్ టెక్. సో ఇలాంటి ఎకో సిస్టమ్ మేము క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. అండ్ నాకేంటంటే ఏదో పెద్ద పెద్ద యాక్సిలరేటర్, ఇంక్యుబేటర్లు కడితే అక్కడ స్టార్టప్స్ జరగవండి. ఫేస్బుక్, యాపిల్, గూగుల్, ఇండియాలో ఓయో, ఓలా, హెచ్సిఎల్, విప్రో, ఇన్ఫోసిస్ అందరు గరాజ్ నుంచి ప్రారంభమయ్యారు. అందరు అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చారు. ఎవరు ఫ్యాన్సీ ఇంక్యుబేటర్స్, ఫ్యాన్సీ స్టార్టప్ సెంటర్ నుంచి ఎవ్వరు రాలా. బట్ నేను నమ్మేది ఏంటంటే మీకు మంచి టూల్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. సో ఒక ఆలోచన ఉంది. ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ మీరు ప్రొటోటైప్ చేయాలి. ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ప్రొటోటైప్ చేయాలంటే మీకు టూల్స్ కావాలి. యూ నీడ్ మెషిన్స్, మోల్డ్స్, అది నేను అందిస్తాను. సో ఇన్నోవేషన్ సొసైటీలో మేము డబ్బులంతా టూలింగ్ మేము పెడుతున్నాం. సో 3D ప్రింటింగ్, సర్క్యూటరీ బోర్డ్స్, సో అలాంటి వాటి మీద మేము ఎక్కువ ఖర్చు పెడుతున్నాం. అండ్ మీ ఐడియాని ఎట్లా ప్రొటోటైప్ చేయాలి. సో మీకు మంచి ఐడియా ఉంది, మొన్న కంపెనీ వచ్చింది, వెరీ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ ఐడియా. సో వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే మీకు యాప్ ఉంటుంది, యాప్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తే యాడ్ వస్తుందండి. ఇప్పుడు అన్నిట్లో యాడ్లు వస్తాయి. బట్ యాడ్ వచ్చేదాన్ని 3 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్సర్ చేయాలండి. ఆ 3 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్సర్ చేస్తే మీకు డబ్బులు ఇస్తారు వాళ్ళు. సో యాడ్ చూసినందుకు 3 ప్రశ్నకి సమాధానం చెప్పినందుకు మీకు డబ్బులు తిరిగిస్తున్నారు. ఐ థాట్ ఇట్ వాస్ బ్రిలియంట్. సో వాళ్ళ లాజిక్ ఏంటంటే మాకు యాడ్కి 50 రూపాయలు కడితే మేము ఒక 20 రూపాయలు ఇస్తాం. దాంతో మీకు రిటెన్షన్ పెరుగుతుంది. వాళ్ళు అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకి సమాధానం చెప్తే యాడ్స్ వచ్చినట్టు గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటారు. దెన్ మీకు డబ్బులు వస్తాయి. ఐ థాట్ దిస్ వాస్ బ్రిలియంట్. ఆ కంపెనీకి ఏం చేశాం, మేము గవర్నమెంట్గా ఫండ్ చేశాం. ఒకటి ప్రభుత్వ యాడ్లకి ఫండ్ చేశాం, ప్లాట్ఫామ్కి మేము ఫండ్ చేశాం. సో ఇలాంటి కంపెనీస్ మేము వెతుకుతున్నాం అండ్ ఇదే విధంగా మేము ఫండ్ చేస్తున్నాం. సారీ, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Sir, one question, sir.
Okay.
Sir, present engineering student.
One second, sir. Sir, మీ పేరు, కాలేజ్?
Right. So, I am faculty, sir, Danekula Engineering College. So, one student is studying almost 54 subjects and 16 labs, sir, for his completion of his bachelor degree. And I was heavily impressed by APSDC skill development program which was incorporated for students. Actually, that has become an extra slapping on the face of student. In respect to that, why? Because why I am strongly saying this is, that is not a course which is in the sense which is not measurable in terms of his obtaining his degree. So student is treating the skill development as an aside which is essential, but instead, so why can't you people, the government, talk with the universities and just they are studying 54 subjects which are almost, they can find some useful and the other odd subjects which can be picked out, and you can incorporate this extra APSC skill and become measurable. Once they are measurable in the degree, then they treat it as an essential things, and they will come up with, you are statistically showing these many members are trained, but students' intention was it is not measurable, why should I? So please try to discuss with the universities and just remove certain subjects which are not useful and try to incorporate with those, then they will be developed, I hope.
It's a very important and powerful suggestion. The biggest gap that I see today in our ecosystem is soft skills. Huge gap. Even when we launched the Mukhyamantri Yuvanestam, which is the unemployment sort of a benefit scheme for the unemployed youth, this scheme, it was not just about giving money. What we wanted to take is take this entire database, get all the students then to come and do basic training. Basic training like, how do you even attend an interview? How do you dress for an interview? What are the questions that get asked for an interview? How do you write a resume? You'll be surprised, there's a huge gap. Huge gap. So actually that's something that we're even contemplating, that education reforms are important. I believe that curriculum also needs to get refreshed every 10 years. Even at Stanford MBA, our curriculum got refreshed. So I was the last batch of the old curriculum. And then they completely transformed the curriculum based on market requirements. And I think that's very, very important and necessary for the students here in Andhra Pradesh. And rest assured, we actually want to do that. So we actually now want to transform the curriculum. And we will do it in the next term. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Bhaskar. I am from KL Business School. My question, 2 questions, sir. If you give
Go
me
ahead.
permission.
Just put it close. I can't hear you.
Okay, sir. So first thing, you are thinking to make Mangalagiri as a IT hub. Please bring MNCs, more number of MNCs into Hyderabad like, Mangalagiri like Hyderabad. By that we can work in Mangalagiri by living with our parents here, by traveling daily, not looking at Bangalore or Hyderabad or Chennai, etc. We can work here with our motherlands and with our parents. And one more question, sir. In Andhra Pradesh, all the street lights are using solar panels and LED lights. My suggestion and my knowledge is that if we educate the household people and all the people living in the cities like Vijayawada and Guntur, if they use the solar energy and renewable resources for their electrical uses, we can go eco-friendly and we can save more amount of money by that. Because solar energy is abundant and free for life, sir. And also the renewable energy also free. Like gobar gas and etc. By that we can produce more number of electricity and that will be used to the households. It is less number of cost. But installing is heavy cost, but after that we can reduce the cost. It is very useful, sir. Please think once about it.
Yeah. No, on two things. One is how do we attract MNCs to come and invest here in Mangalagiri. One company that we got is HCL. As all of you know, HCL is building a campus near Gannavaram Airport. And the work is on. It's one of their largest campuses that they're building out there. And they're doing one campus also in Mangalagiri. So they're doing two. But if we need to attract MNCs, we need to create a vibrant ecosystem. So small and medium companies are critical for this ecosystem to survive. So we are in the process of building that. Coming to renewable energy, I agree that renewable energy is the wave. However, the challenge with renewable energy is that it gets produced for domestic consumption. It gets produced when we need it the least rather. That's during the day. So only in the evening we end up using the air conditioning or anything, right, before we go to bed. So we need to figure out a smart way. And that's something that we want to do. We believe that we really want to depend more and more on renewable energy. It could be wind, it could be solar, other forms. So more and more impetus is actually is focused on that. And we will continue to educate. We have good policies in place and we will deliver on those. Well, give us 5 more years and we'll show it. Thank you. You have a question? Okay. One second. Okay. Okay. 2 last questions.
Hi, sir. My name is Chaitanya. I am mechatronic and robotics student. In future, we can expect any robotic companies in AP.
So, as far as electronics manufacturing is considered, I believe that it's again the evolution phase. I think every country has to go through this phase. First thing that happens is assembly. So basic mobile phone assembly happens. Once that happens, then you move backward integration. So you start making the camera module, the fingerprint sensor, the screens and so on and so forth. And as the phones get complex, as we start making more and more cutting edge devices, robotics will happen. But I believe that in India, I think we still have way to go. Because all said and done, our manpower costs are relatively lower. And we need to create more and more blue collar jobs. So I think I would park the robotics based manufacturing more to the probably 10 years from now rather than today. So we had one last question.
So as you studied in foreign, what are the changes in education system you observed in our state and in foreign, and what are the changes you wish our state should have?
I'm getting very tough questions from the left side. And all the guys on the right have to be worried here. So actually, so someone asked me this question. They asked me, what did I learn the most in the Western education system? So my takeaways are 2 things, and I think that these are the 2 things we definitely need to bring. One is exposure. Now, once, America is one country which attracts talent from across the world. So in your class, you have people from different parts of the world. And because of our cultural background, we have different views on the subject. So we tend to listen a lot more. We tend to take a more rounded decisions. So I believe exposure plays a very, very important role. The second, and I think the most important thing that all of us here have to learn, in our society at least, I think I'm one generation older than all of you here, but in our society, one thing that I've seen is that, we are trained not to ask questions. I think not much has changed. Am I right? ఇంట్లో అందరు చెప్తారు ఏం అడగద్దు, నేను అడిగితే ఎదురు మాట్లాడినట్టు ఉంటుంది అంటారు. నా అభిప్రాయం ప్రకారం అది కరెక్ట్ కాదు. మీకు డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగాలి. ఎందుకంటే మీరు అడగకుండా ఉంటే శాశ్వతంగా మీకు అదే డౌట్ ఉంటుంది. రెండోది, ప్రశ్న అడిగినప్పుడు ఇది సరైన ప్రశ్న, ఎదురుడు ఏమనుకుంటాడు, మనకెందుకు అది? మనకు ప్రశ్న ఉందా అడగాలి అంతే. నాకు ఇది అమెరికాలో చదువుకుని నేను నేర్చుకునేదండి. సో మీరు నమ్మరు, ప్రతి మీటింగ్లో కనీసం 25 ప్రశ్నలు అడుగుతాను నేను. నాకు అర్థమవుతేనే అడుగుతా, ఎందుకంటే నాకు క్లారిటీ రావాలి కదా అంట. ఈ రెండు రావాలి ముందర మన సిస్టంలో. ఒకటి ఎక్స్పోజర్, ఎట్ట తీసుకురావచ్చు. మనం కూడా మన క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇంప్రూవ్ చేస్తే గ్లోబల్ టాలెంట్ని అట్రాక్ట్ చేయాలండి. గ్లోబల్ టాలెంట్ని ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్కి అట్రాక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడే మనం సక్సెస్ అవ్వగలుగుతాం. ఇక్కడ వచ్చేగల మనందరిలో మార్పు రావాలి. ప్రశ్నలు అడగాలి, అప్పుడే మనలో మార్పు వస్తుంది. లేదంటే ప్రశ్నలు అడగకుండా ఏదో చెప్పారులే అనుకుని మనం ఇన్వైట్ చేసుకుంటే ఇంక అయిపోయింది. సో మన ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ నన్ను అడిగితే ప్రధానంగా ఈ రెండు వస్తే మిగతా అంత ఈజీ అండి. కరికులం మార్చాలా, టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లు మార్చాలి, లేదంటే కంప్యూటర్ ఎయిడెడ్ టెస్ట్ రావాలి, ఆర్ టెక్నాలజీ రావాలి, అది ఈజీ. దట్స్ అ ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ మనీ అండ్ ఎఫర్ట్, వెరీ ఈజీ. బట్ కల్చరల్ షిఫ్ట్ రావాలంట. నాకు మన ఫండమెంటల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టంలో కల్చరల్ షిఫ్ట్ వచ్చినప్పుడే I think we'll be able to transform ourselves, and I think we'll be able to better relate to what's happening across the globe. Yeah? So I'd like to I will organize one more session if required, but I really need to go because it's my son's birthday and I haven't seen him all day. I haven't even wished him till now. So he'll be mightily upset if I don't go, and he's a 4-year-old boy, so quite naughty. So you'll have to excuse me. It was an amazing session. I learned a lot more. I've gained a lot from these sessions. And it's clear that as a government we need to do more and more of these sessions, so that I think one, we can learn from what the youngsters are thinking. I think it gives us a lot of direction as a government. Two, I think you'll also understand what government is doing and where opportunities are. Because once you come out of college, you exactly know where to focus. And while in college, and if you're looking at startup, even while in college, you know where to reach out to. So I'd like to thank all of you. Thanks for coming, and again, my sincere apologies for being late today. Rest assured, next time I will be on dot and on time. Thank you.
Yes, please let us take this, opportunity to wish Lokesh Garu the very, very best, that he will be elected your representative. He is very, very, very qualified, and we are so privileged to have him as your, Mangalagiri constituency leader. So please let's wish him, and I'm just standing up to wish him good luck. Good luck, Lokesh, and really wish you all the best. Please give him a round of applause.